Hello my tarot and cat friends. We are now in Gemini Sun transit, so happy birthday to all Geminis. And of course, when the sign switches, this is the time for my monthly forecasts. So this time around we are going to have 6 different amazing in-depth spreads specifically designed to capture all your energies. So I'm starting with my version of a double cross spread to give us love forecasts. Then I'm going to follow it with Lenormand separately for ladies and gents. So that's going to give us both general and love situation overview. Then I'll move into the Gypsy spreads, and it's also going to be separated for ladies, gents, and couples. So if you guys are on or off, or if you're going through a temporary separation or recent breakup, you probably would be the best to check both singles and couples. Promotions this month, just join my Facebook and enter to win one of the 3 20-minute readings with me. So each like, comment, and share will win you one entry toward the contest. And of course, please subscribe, like, and share this video, and contact me for your personal forecast or reading. X reading is 45 until the end of the month, and then it will go to 50, so take advantage of that. Enough of the introduction, right? So let's see what's upcoming this month. Hi Tauruses, I actually already finished your horoscope, believe it or not, Taroscope, and I realized I didn't record it. So off we go again. It's a really good news. Well, actually I just did this part, so we will do the rest of it together. So bottom of the deck, it's Ace of Cups. So somebody is a little defensive, somebody's giving up on some love and a new beginning. So somebody's not starting new things. And the bottom of the other deck over here is free yourself and you deserve love. So it says it's time to take back control of your life. So that's pretty much the flavor of this month, Taurus. Is like you really I mean, I already know the ending. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's a really healthy month. So let's go back in the past. So keep an open mind. This is what you are bringing from the past to the present. It says your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So you're experimenting, trying to actually date different types and sort of like blindly go into kind of walk through or choose them. Maybe there was not a good match, and maybe there was lots of miscommunication, arguing, 5 of Wands and 2 of Swords together. I'm really talking about not really being sure about it, right? And then there's 20, Judgment. Kind of like you figure out, okay, let's kind of like try to review this past. Let's put it all together and see how this works, how this worked and how it didn't work, and what works, what doesn't work. So like you have reached some conclusions on which directions you can go into, which directions you don't want to go into. This can also indicate kind of like really giving somebody too much of a space, because in the root over here I see reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. And then also the 6 of Swords, that is also kind of, instead of like moving on, generally it's moving on to the better thing and leaving the problems and issues in the past. In the reverse state, this is really talking about coming back to the issues, maybe not necessarily good issues, but kind of resolving those issues for yourself, right? And then the Ace of Wands and Knave of Chalices reversed, telling me that, you know, some of you want to go back and maybe are ready to start something new, reignite this passion, but it could be either you coming back or somebody else coming back, and it looks like the offer might not be taken, and it will be maybe really hard to go forward because there are still some issues that have to be kind of like addressed. And this also talks about talking things out, and it certainly is before this card, meaning like you cannot start until this is kind of completely resolved. So core of your reading is children. Your love life is being affected by children. So of course, like, I mean, it's end of May, June, the school year is finishing, so it could be either your children or your partner's children. This also can talk about the inner child, and inner child is something that we always have to attend to and heal. And in your case, like, you got the Empress card, which is also like nourishment and children and taking care of your young ones, as you can see here. And showing here, you being a Taurus, that, you know, the life maybe is not completely imbalanced. Two Pentacles reversed talks about possible some kind of embarrassment, possibly some kind of like imbalance, maybe somebody's juggling two people, too many things. And the Temperance, putting things in balance, putting life in balance, children in balance, projects in balance, everything in balance. It's kind of like the time for it. This is crossed with trust. The situation is calling for you to have faith. And then we have Eight of Cups. So this is kind of walking away from something that you love or like, or it's important to you. There are emotions connected to it. So when somebody walks away from situation, it's just like when you don't see that being possible to be workable, which we can see here in Eight of basically Pentacles, that kind of like it's just like too high price to pay. You're just realizing, you know what, like, I mean, maybe this kind of worked for 10 years, but should I stay another 10 years here, or should I just give myself this ticket to try to be happy, right? Because it looks like that somebody kind of like was in a situation where no matter what you did, it was like always something that you felt you were not adequate enough, or it could be this exchange where it was like a third person. And it's simply asking for you, that whole situation where you're creating this balance, and this balance is going to be connected to you cutting things out or walking away from things that are just not working out. I mean, it looks like that some of you will try to talk it out and see what can be revisited, but the others are just simply going to say, well, enough is enough. So what is grounding you? What are you waiting for? So this is like this newfound self-respect for you Tauruses. Divine timing is at work in your love life. And then you have like Knave of Swords. So this is kind of interesting card because it talks about really digging deep inside. It could also mean trying to figure out what is really going on, because the other two cards that you got here are Moon reversed and Ten of Pentacles. So when I look at these cards, this is telling me that you are kind of becoming inquisitive, that you really want to figure out like some secrets, maybe deceptions, or get to the bottom of that, digging deep inside of yourself, maybe checking other person out, maybe spying on them a little bit, checking their social, like, I mean, websites profile, or them checking on you. And kind of like you're realizing, you know, that things should be out in the open in order for creating this like domestic bliss and happiness. And this is definitely where you're striving to Ten of Pentacles, to that celebration and unity and feeling really comfortable. And this month you're going to really get help from your friends. Let your friends help you, ask for and accept support from others. And you know what, that's going to really fulfill you with happiness. And again, Nine of Cups, so-called wish card, but it's also a card of somebody who is really comfortable in their own skin and attending to different celebrations as a kind of single person, or as a person who is like completely comfortable. It seems like you're still recovering from something. You have the strength reversed, and hence I think spend time with your friends this month, because you're going to recharge your batteries, because I see here you're getting to Knave of Wands toward the end, and this is kind of like really charging ahead. This is kind of your batteries are getting fully charged, you're ready to go, and it's kind of like time to ramble. So how do you feel, Tauruses? It says, love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And then this was really interesting. The card here is like Knight of Wands reversed. So some of you have been involved with somebody who is married or unavailable. in one way or the other. It could be the children that were coming in your way, or simply you were not coming together on some kind of real tangible way. And then it was followed with King of Chalices reversed, which talks about some kind of emotional manipulation, or somebody telling you things you want to hear and you're trusting this. And also Queen of Wands reversed. So now we have a King and Queen of Wands and King of Chalices. So this can either mean that you are breaking off a relationship with someone entirely, because you feel you're manipulated, you feel you're lied to, and it's simply time for you not to kind of like have the passion for this person. It could also mean that you are healing to the point that you're putting yourself before the people who are manipulators and are able to recognize them. You're able to kind of understand which things are not workable. Some kind of superficial things or superficial involvements would not be things you would want. So that's why kind of like you're working on yourself. And as far as your environment and friends, they're asking you to release some patterns or pointing certain things out to you. It says this time has come to clear your energy. And then you have Seven of Wands reversed, which kind of is defensive energy in the upright position, but in the reverse position means giving up. So in this case, this is really great because, you know, it looks like that you'll be using your friends while using your friends. You'll get your friends to assist you kind of to regain your strength. And part of that is going to be also some inner work, because Four of Swords talks about take some rest, go inside, deep inside of yourself. And Six of Wands reverse talks about somebody need to be admired, and winning was like a key word in here, and understanding that kind of like they didn't go anywhere. And maybe this talks about losing the ex. It is a time to kind of really let go, and maybe letting go is not going to be that easy, and that's why you need to kind of take breaks. And you know, it is certainly self-respect that is coming there, and it's calling basically that card saying, you know what, I'm going to live the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years better, because I will not be subject to this anymore. And going back to healing, because it takes some time to heal from a situation like that, or in any case, it's good to have relationships that are based on a healthy kind of grounds. And it says here, your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. And then that came with Six of Chalices, which is again the card that connects us to our childhood and to children and things that happened when we were young, or people we got connected when we were young. So sometimes it's not really self-evident on the surface, but sometimes we meet people that maybe replicate certain situations we had when we were very young. Maybe our father was not really all present around us, and we didn't get that energy we needed, and you know, somehow we end up, wink wink, like attracting partners who are not available, who just like kind of pull disappearance act on us. And this is simply just going back to this original issue and trying to figure out what bothers us. So like magic, it kind of, the whole experience goes off. And you see, it's kind of deciding how to go about it. And especially maybe some of you can have like this possible inner feeling, like who is important, what is important. So setting goals and making sure, like, see the Devil card here. So Three of Wands and a Devil card talks about going in a different direction and kind of like being careful, because so this is hopes and fears. You're kind of like fearing to some point that you're going to stray away and end up yourself chained to unproductive patterns and unproductive people who they're not who they say they are. And it is kind of like really important to recognize the energy that kind of has a power over you. And guess what? It's the happy ending this month, because you have express your love, go ahead and make the romantic gesture, and then you have Queen of Chalices. You're coming to feeling comfortable, and whatever you're healing, some of you that you'll be healing something from the past, you'll actually finish the whole cycle this month, because you also have Knave of Pentacles kind of going deep and not moving ahead with things that kind of cannot be built anymore. And then you have Ace of Swords reversed, kind of like dealing with this. That's why you're doing this kind of like little detective work here, maybe kind of looking at other people and how they present themselves and deciding when is it worth to invest into them and when is not. And just be careful, because people tell you always who they are, and don't even go for it. Oh no, you're not that way. If they tell you they're a certain way, if they talk to you about them in a third person, run. These are not the people who are healthy, and certainly it's not your job to heal them. Your job is to heal yourself, and you're doing this. And you're not going to be shying away from expressing your love, but at the same time you're going to like respect yourself really highly and move on with your life in a kind of like really productive way. So what are we going to do next is we're going to do the Lenormand and see if we get a little bit more information about this, or we get additional information, or it could be different storyline for some of the others that maybe so far this hasn't been touched. Okay, so I'm taking the Lady Significator first, which is not necessarily a woman. It could be either one of you or you gentlemen. That could be like your love interest, person of interest. In any case, you will kind of recognize who it is. So let's see, Tauruses for May 21st to June the 20th. Tauruses from May 21st to June the 20th. Okay, Tauruses, what do you have? You have the birds, the dog, the stars, the mice, the book, the fox, the cross, the snake, and the ring. So it's kind of really interesting. There are lots of cleansing. You're dealing with things that's kind of aggravating you. Some of you may have the issues at work and kind of like looking into possibly maybe even quitting your job because certain things are not working out there. And again, you're looking into some kind of secrets and digging out certain issues that happened in the past. The snake can actually mean betrayal over here, and the cross is definitely some kind of burden. It talks about it's something deep inside of you that you carry. It could be related to work. It could be related to some kind of like betrayal. It could this is kind of really not good. This like 5 cards that are surrounding you here initially means that first half of the month you'll be dealing again with the cleansing things and kind of like firming yourself up, kind of like figuring out what was your cross to bear. And like it's the best is like when you face the music, and once when you face the music, the rest gets really easy, right? Because you don't really have to deal with this anymore. It's kind of clean. It's kind of really hard. It's like almost like looking in a ghost and feeling scared, not knowing how to react, and yet is facing your worst fear. And with you, like you're going to be looking at it like from so many different angles, but it's not, you know, something that you cannot bridge, because like all of a sudden things look up. All of a sudden you're finding this ability to see up, the stars, like bright future, loyalty, and then you're moving into this kind of direction, express your love. There's the birds here, and kind of like really figuring out what works for you, what kind of commitment would work for you, what commitment wouldn't work for you. So let's see for the gents out there, or maybe it could be a different storyline, or this could be your love interest. Let's see what is basically happening on this front over here. Okay, Tauruses, it will be May 21st to June the 20th. Let's see, for this person, for this storyline, it's kind of interesting. Again, we have the ring over here, and again we have the stars. This actually really talks about the moon talks about reputation, and kind of like looking again, it's something connected to work, or it's something connected to finances and your home life. So some of you Tauruses, or the partners you're dealing with, may be financially oriented, how to kind of establish themselves, or how to do proper investments, and they'll be choosing different ways about it. Some of you also could be moving in and going to the next level of commitment, because it's the key to the house. Some may be buying a house or moving in together, so going to this new level of your relationship. There still might be certain things that need to be kind of discussed, and there'll still be some kind of issues, mountains to cross. But altogether, for Taurus's guys, it's going to be a month of the next level. It's somebody who is really commitment minded. It's kind of like, definitely I see the houses. If you guys are in real estate business, oh my gosh, that's going to be extremely fruitful for you this month. Okay, so let's right now look into the Gypsy spread to actually finish this reading. So let's go again with the female significator over here. And where did I put my Gypsy cards? Oh, here they are, under the mouse, of course, hiding. So this again, ladies, could be you, it could be the partner. So it's going to be just a few different storylines that's going to like kind of pop, and you'll see where you recognize them. Okay, so Taurus from May 21st to June the 20th. Taurus from May 21st to June the 20th. Pleasure seekers, lover, thief, frivolity, prison, scholar, melancholy, and gift. So some of your Tauruses either have an extra person in a relationship, or maybe this is kind of like what, you know, the other kind of storyline was telling us about. The pleasure seekers talk about kind of irresponsible behavior, and it's connecting you and a partner, or you have somebody, single ladies have somebody on your mind, or the partner is simply present, and there is like this thought about, you see, with this partner, like there is this hesitation, because the prison also signifies marriage at times, and the thief card over here with prison talks about, of course, somebody is stealing the partner, right, if you wish. So some of you have been dealing with somebody acting reckless, and some of you are feeling that you really are taking time to figure it out, and there's like melancholy. So it's not full-blown depression, it's kind of like good feeling for us to kind of like lick our wounds and realize, like, the gift card here means silver lining, what basically is in all of that I can learn about. So it certainly looks like that some of you will go to counseling regarding certain issues. Some of you maybe are engaged, or kind of like were thinking about moving to the next stage, but now you're going to really start reconsidering all of that. So okay, so let me see, lover as a significator for, you know, the another storyline again for you ladies and gentlemen. So from May 21st, whoa, here we have misfortune. And what else did jump out? Messenger and hope. We'll see how this plays out. And a young woman. Okay, Taurus, May 21st to June 20th. May 21st 21st to June 20th. Money. Here we go. Misfortune is coming out. Priest. Fortune. Fortune, misfortune. Pleasure seekers. Prison. Waiting. And faithfulness. So now these two cards are kind of interesting. They're actually showing up together. That doesn't necessarily mean they're like canceling each other. It could mean that you can feel both at the same time. It definitely looks like for some of you there is the end of something. You see, again, the prison card is here. That is kind of repetition, and the pleasure seekers is repetition. So for some of you guys are in a waiting period into how to proceed, because it has been some kind of turbulence. This could be just completely breakup, and even legal breakup, divorce over somebody who messed up with your relationship. It was a third party here, and it is affecting your finances as well. Money talks about also secrets, and maybe the secrets came to an end, and it was sort of like pretty kind of big a shakedown, and kind of like put many things in jeopardy. And some of you definitely who are in relationships or even marriage, like now have like this entire foundation shaken, because everything is like duality over here. I have misfortune and fortune, then I have pleasure seekers and faithfulness, right? Then I have priest and prison, right? And money and faithfulness, secret and being out in the open. So for this storyline, like, it's going to be a lots of debate in which way to go. It's certainly going to be lots of turbulence on this end. It would be good for you to consult elderly people with advice. So that could mean priests as well. Again, talks about your ex maybe digging something behind your back. Somebody will be presenting you things and trying to make basically almost a fool of you, make a light of very heavy things that you're not going to appreciate at all. You see, regarding the marriage, regarding a relationship, it looks like it was a cheating, and somebody's feeling very, very depressed and very jealous about that. But at the same time, really longing and waiting for the partner, but realizing the whole thing is really dead. So what is the fortunate break? The fortunate break is like ability to move on. What we had there, 8 of Cups. You see, some of you might be coming back to the old partner and kind of like dealing with these issues. And I think what's left again is like this moving in this new direction, getting maybe counseling over here, and kind of like firming up the relationship via, again, this is again counseling and dealing with very much bread and butter things. And again, faithfulness and gift. It looks like that you're going to back to be stronger financially together, and so this storyline very much talks about the past relationships, or maybe some of you that are like newly made single, or they're in and out of relationship, can actually recognize themselves in this storyline, because it has been lots of issues in this basically conversation that I see over here. And some things have to die, and some things really have to go in order to move on. So it's going to be counseling, and it's going to be pretty turbulent for this storyline. Okay, so let me see couples here. Where is the gentleman here? Let's see, Taurus couples for May, from May the 21st to June the 20th. May 21st to June 20th for Taurus couples, married, etc. Okay, house, surprise, gift, And again, we have misfortune here, so I see. And pleasure seekers again. Old woman again. So these 4 are repeating. And frivolity. Servant. Doctor. And reunion. So very similar to like what the other storyline was. It looks like some of you are back and forth between relationship and couplehood. Definitely, you know, you guys are looking into addressing mental health issues. Some of you are depressed. There is a doctor over here. So some of you might really come back to each other, but there is like definitely this feeling that could have been a third person in a relationship. This brought a huge turbulence and kind of shook the foundation of this marriage. And at the same time, there is like a willingness to move on from this whole thing. So old woman and doctor again tells me counseling. So if you guys are not together, then it looks like there will be a reunion with sort of like understanding that you cannot move on further and have a productive relationship if you really do not look into the root and cause of the issue. So this is going back to love yourself first. So certain things will really have to be shaken down and built on better foundation. And this whole union needs a little bit more lightness, and kind of like it's not going to be a very light month over here for some of these couples. For the others, they're going to really actually enjoy a good life, and it shows a surprise and a gift. Well, surprise might be a bad surprise. It could be something that initially is going to look really good on the surface, but going to realize there is something behind that hidden, and you'll really spend some time thinking about it. But ultimately, again, you know how you had let your friends help you. Conversations with friends and about your marriage, about your union, is going to be really important. So it's okay to be sad. Melancholy is like not a deep depression here. And these pleasure seekers, yeah, many of you are going to overcome the issues that you had because the hope is going to be done and messenger. So communication is going to start to flow. That is really, really good. So couples will have some work in front of them. Old woman is always good. You see, old woman, young woman. So this is talking about the family unit coming together. So you have union, wife, Lord, old woman and young woman, entire family coming together and healing. So whatever happened in the past, it is time to kind of like put these things behind you. So Tauruses, have a great month. For a private reading, please contact me via my website, and I'm really looking forward to hearing back from you. Please join Facebook if you haven't, and comment and share everything that you like. Thanks so much. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, or give me a thumbs down if you didn't like it. Love you.